Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and a first-time setter today called Simply Spicy, who thinks that they've learned some of the tricks from the channel, which is great. Long-time viewer, but first-time submitter of a puzzle. So well done for getting a feature, and we will look at this in a minute. Don't forget, on Patreon this month, Alien Invasion, until the 20th, you can solve these puzzles from outer space and see how you get on with the counting circles variants. It's great fun. There's help available on Patreon chat. If you are a patron, you can access that on the Discord server. And check out all the links under the videos, not only the Discord, but Patreon, all the other things on Patreon. Of course, we have gridogram and connections videos and crossword videos too. But there's also the links to our apps, which feature line Sudoku and Domino Sudoku and the like, and of course Classic Sudoku 2 and the Worms, including Zetamath's new worm, the Sudoku Worm. Do check it out, all great fun. We've got merch as well. We've got t-shirts and hoodies and mugs and caps, and I failed to bring my cap to the cricket, and now my face is quite red. There we go. It serves me right. Right. Let's have a look at the rules of Tilted Squares by Simply Spicy. And the rules say the following. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column. Oh, I should mention every 3x3 box. I should mention we're streaming on Tuesday, not Monday next week, owing to a certain person's birthday. Right, even or odd. So digits on a grey line are either, let's pronounce this right, on a grey line the digits are either all odd or all even. Interesting. Digits in cages sum to the values shown. Adjacent digits on a green line have a difference of at least 5. Digits on a pink line form a non-repeating consecutive set in any order. Those are Ren bands. And white dots indicate consecutive digits. On a black dot, one digit is double the other. And an X if an X occurs, the two cells on it sum to 10. Those are the rules. Give it a try on the first link under the video. Let's get cracking now. So I'm definitely going to start with the green lines, or what's not on the green lines perhaps. So a green line cannot contain a 5 because there's no Sudoku digit that could neighbour it. So 5s in rows 1 and 9 are in those pairs. And that's going to use up the 5s for columns 1 and 2 and put the 5 for column 3 in box 4 in one of those cells, not on the green line. Now there are other things about green lines, and they are that the digits alternate between high and low. So yellow will be high and red low, or vice versa in this row, because of the need to maintain this difference of 5. And the red cells, and actually the middle yellow cells here, couldn't contain a 4 or a 6, because 4 and 6 only have one possible neighbour each, and that can't go in 2 cells in the same row. So what? So these 3 red cells are either the 3 high that aren't 4 or 6, or the 3 low that aren't 4 or 6. And the red cell that is 4 or 6 is going into one of these cells. Down here, that's even clearer from the white dot that 5 must go with 4 or 6 there. And I think uniqueness is probably going to tell me that these won't be the same pairs, but we don't use uniqueness as a solving tool, because what we like to try and do is prove that we have come up with the only solution of the puzzle, not the only solution of the puzzle if you assume there is only one possible solution. I am going to mark these with different colours as well, just because I can and I want to. And I don't know whether red is the same as light blue or the same as pink yet. Okay, we've got an X pair here that can't be 4, 6. It adds up to 10, and these cells add up to 11, and they don't include a 5, so they're not 5, 6. So there's definitely not a 6 in this cage. Let's add up these. 20, right. another secret I haven't told you. I've told you a few things about green lines. I haven't told you the main Sudoku secret about every Sudoku. That every row, every column, and every box in a normal 1 to 9 Sudoku adds up to the same number, because it's the sum of the digits 1 to 9. That number is 45. In this box, obviously 45 for those 9 cells, but 29 for those. That leaves 16 for these. This pair is either 5, 4 or 5, 6. If it was 5, 6, that would only leave 5 for this cell, which cannot go there. So this must be 5, 4. This digit then, we add up the 29 and the 5, 4, which gets us to 38. This digit is a 7. And now we know that this pink colour is high. We know exactly where the 6 goes because of the rule I said that it couldn't go into these cells which can't allow monogamous digits. It must be here. It must be next to 1, its only ever possible companion. That means 7 must be next to 2, and the other low digit in the row is 3, and there we go. We've got a start in the bottom row. Let's turn the colours into the colours we recognise regularly for high and low. Blue and orange, irrespectively. I got those the wrong way around, that's fine. This X can't contain a 2 or a 3, so it's either 1, 6 or 4, 9. If this was 4 or 6, that would be 1 or 9, but that's not ruled out by this X. What about this black dot? Oh, what about this grey line? These are all the same parity. Well, that's no good. This cage clearly contains 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 9. So this line is either 2, 6, 8 or 1, 3, 9. Yeah, that I can't really do anything with that. This black dot is much more restricted than that one. This one can't contain a 1 or a 6. So I think this black dot is either 2, 4 or 4, 8, and definitely has a 4 on it. Ah, now that's got very interesting. It's got very interesting from a perspective I didn't expect to be using. But on this yellow and red line, I still don't know whether yellow or red is high or low. But I do know that the monogamous digit on this line, the 4 or 6, goes on one end. And there must be one because all 4 yellow digits are represented on the line. And now I know that this one can't be the 4 or 6 because there's a 4 in one of those cells and a 6 there. That's very neat, Simply Spicy. So this digit is the monogamous digit, the 4 or 6. And that gives us a 4, 5, 6 triple. I'll come back to that. The 4, if it's a 4, it's sitting next to 9. If it's 6, it's sitting next to 1. I still can't quite relate those to the top or bottom, so I'll come back to this. With 4, 5, 6 here, we can add them up. 15 plus 21 is 36. Oh, that gives us the slightly annoying total of 9 if we subtract that from 45 for the total of the box. And 9 here in 2 cells that can't use a 7 and can't use 4, 5 or 6. It's not 4, 5, it's not 6, 3, it's not 7, 2, it's not an annoying total. We know what it is. It's 1, 8. Then we turn this back onto the X, which can't be 6, 4 or 1, 9 or 2, 8, and must be 3, 7. And the remaining cells in the box are 2, 9. That's really neat, actually. Now, what do we do next? Do we go down this column? I don't know. This digit, actually, black dot digit, it can't be 1 or 8, and it can't be 4. There are only 6 possible black dot digits, so this is now 2, 3, or 6. If it was 2, well, it can't be 6, because that would have to be 3, and that would clash with this. So it's 2 or 3 here, which doesn't reveal the parity of this line. If it's 2, this is 1 or 4, which is getting quite interesting for the 1, 4, 6, 9 quad. If it's 3, though, this digit is 6. Actually, that forces this to be 1, 9. Right, let's just think about that. It is from 1, 4, and 6. If this one was 4 or 6, that would have to be 1 or 9. That would also be from 4 or 6, and that would have to be from 1 or 9, and therefore would be a 1. So if that's 4 or 6, it's not 6, because this is 1. So that's not 6, this is not 4. Now, if this is a 1-9 pair, I think I'm a little more at sea. There's more freedom around. I don't feel I can make a big judgment. I haven't done anything with the grey lines yet. I'm very conscious of that. And I still don't even know about what colours are representing which polarities here. So, no, I'm not doing all that well. I'm prepared to admit that. Let's see if we can improve our hit rate a bit. This digit can't be 7 or 8. I can't make judgment. Well, if it was low, it can't be 1. I don't know. Not enough info, I feel, for that one. Okay, maybe I need to think about this green line at the top. Somewhere on it, there is a 3 or a 7. In the... Well, there is both 3 and 7 have to get on it. And they can't touch each other. Can that be 7? Surrounded by 2 and 1. Yeah, I can't quite make a conclusion about this. I feel like I ought to be using the tilted squares in the title now and doing something with those, but I can't work out what that is either. Oh, here's another thought. If this is 9, this digit is 1, and the only low digit remaining for the box is 4 here. So this is always an extreme pair? No, if this is 1, that could be any high digit. Okay. If this is low, though, it's going to be 4. That's weird. It's not telling me the answer to the puzzle. That's annoying. Right. 1 is looking at this X. That can't be a 1-9 pair. Dividing these dominoes up into pairs didn't really help, did it? Oh, I'm a little bit at sea. Am I meant to use this grey diamond? That could be all 4 even digits in the box, but I just don't think I've got info about that at the moment. I'm finding it very difficult to get onto this line, so I think I've got to concentrate on box 8 a bit more still. So let's think about, if this was a 1, we've got a peculiar problem perhaps. The problem relates to this line, which would have to be a 1, 2, 3, 4 Renban. And that digit would have to be 4. So if this is a 1, that's a 9, and this is definitely 6. If that's a 9, this is 1, this is 4, and that's definitely 6. If it's a 4, though, this is 9 and 6, and this is a 1. But this can never be a 4. I've at least eliminated that. It doesn't feel like a lot. Let's think more about this Renban. So if that was a 9, the Renban has to be 9, 6, or sorry, 9, 8, 7, 6. And that would be 1, and that would be 6. These would be 4, 5, 7, and that would have to be a 7. So if that's a 9, this has to be a 7. If that's a 1, this has to be a 4. If this is a 4, then what's going on? 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 9 there, 8 here. We've only got 5 or 7 available. So I've narrowed that down to 4, 5 or 7, which is a very weird collection of digits to narrow it down to. It doesn't really achieve anything. No, I'm struggling to get the next move going here. I'm finding it very difficult to see how I can attack the puzzle at all, actually. I couldn't rule out that this was 1, 2, 3, 4. I couldn't rule out that it was 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh, Okay, what I'm sort of now wondering is there a chance that whether this is high or low relates to whether this is high or low through this green line, which must also alternate between high and low? That's a very weird thought. So if this digit was a 1, this is low. It's in a 1, 4, 2, 3 group. So that's high, that's low, that's then high. I just don't have much restriction on this top pink line, so I don't feel that's the way to go. This is getting tricky. I just don't see how to use this. But then I don't see how to use anything we've got at the moment at all. Right, I've got to think of something totally new. The 5 X-wing that put 5 into one of these cells. That means this digit can't be 5. Does that do anything? No, I've got to focus on box 8. I said this before, I've got to say it again to myself. This is where things are happening. Nothing else is happening anywhere else. So, here's an interesting thought. If this is 3, this parity line has to be 3, 1, 9. You'd have to put 1 and 9 here. And then 1 has to be in one of these cells, despite that being a 3, 6 black dot. This would definitely be 1, 9. Oh, I haven't asked this question. Where's 5 in this row? It's in one of those 2 cells. And 5's in one of those 2 cells in row 7. I mean, that was a very interesting, very easy thing to see when I thought to look at it. I don't know. Maybe I should think about these being low, because they would have to respect the low digits at the bottom of the grid. That would be 2 or 3. This line would begin 6, 1, so this would be a 2, 3 pair if they were low. This would be 2, this would be 3. We'd have an 8, 9 pair here. And 7 here. We'd have an 8, 9 pair in this column. In that case, that's very unlikely to do any actual damage. No, that's not getting me anywhere. Okay, if this was a 2, this would be a 6, 8 pair. And that would force 6 into one of these cells, but I think it's forced into one of them anyway. Just as when I was considering that being 3, the 1 up here was already forced into this pair. So if that was 2, this would be 6 and 8. Actually, that would mean this would have to be 8. Okay, this is perhaps worth thinking about. If that was 2, this is 6, 8. I know what happens that's a problem then. I know what happens that's a problem then. If this is 2, wow, this is a tough move, but it's clever. If this is 2, where does 1 go in this box? Because it can't go on the parity line, and that 1, 8 pair is stopping it being there. So 1 would be in one of these cells. But if that's 2, this is 1 on the black dot. We've worked that out. So 1 can't be here. So this isn't 2. This is 3. This is 6. Now this has to be a 1-9 pair. Right, this might get us going. Now we know these odd digits, they become a 1-9. Everything else in the box is 2-6-8, and this one can't be an 8 because of the 1-8 pair it was looking at. Oh, 6 is ruled out of those two, so this is a 6. And that determines that this is a 4, and that's going to give us the color scheme at the top, i.e. the polarity scheme. And 4 has to be next to 9. And then these are a 7-8 pair, and these are a 1-2-3 triple. But we now don't have a 4 in that pair. In this column, we've got 4-1-8, 6-3-7. These middly digits, in the terms of where they appear, are 2-5-9. We can't have 5 on the green. Ooh, 9 or 2 there would be pretty powerful on this line. That's almost a consummation devoutly to be wished. 2-9 pair there are looking at these cells and resolving them. 1-8. These are all from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this column. Now that's interesting for this cell, which, if that was a 2, this would have to be a 7. If that was a 9, this would have to be 3 or 4. Interesting but not conclusive. However, 6-1-9 there makes this one an 8. And now we have a 4-5-7 triple in these cells. Yeah, and this is 2-3-8 in some order. And now the 4 on this black dot is known to be here, and this is a 5-7 pair. And let's hope we're a bit further forward. If that was a 1, this has to be 4. If that was a 9, this has to be 7. It can never be 5, and the 5 in the box is thus found. That's a bit strange. I still don't know the polarity of this central diamond, which is interesting. Right, do I have to move on to this Renban next? I'm not sure. But I haven't got much else to go on, if I'm brutally honest. Oh, maybe this grey line is beginning to... If that was a 7, this would be 1 and 2. This would either be 3, 5, 9 or 4, 6, 8. And 7 is the most restrictive case here. If that was 8. It's very difficult to get anything out of this. No, I don't know. Oh, this pink line? No. It's just not playing ball. Wow. 2 steps forward, complete standstill. Right, now, if that's 1 and 4, this is a 2-3 pair. Alternatively, that's 9 and 7, and this is a 6-8 pair. This pair is either 2-3 or 6-8, so I'm going to use another colour, because they're either both low or both high. Whatever they are, this is alternate because of the green line. Then that's yellow again, and that's red again. Now, for this to be high, it couldn't be 9 or 8. It would have to be 6 or 7, forcing that to be 1 or 2, and this 2 or 3. Can't rule that out. If it was low, it would be touching 6, 7 or 8 there, so it would be 1, 2 or 3. I don't know, something felt incompatible, but I don't know what it was. What about this? Do I know this isn't? No, that could have a 5 on it. It could be very middly as a line, contain both colours and what have you. This cell must be red because it's on an X with that one, and indeed contains 8, 7, 4 or 2. Yeah, it's almost true to say that one of these must contain 7 or 8, because the various possibilities are 2, 8, 7, 3, but annoyingly also 6, 4. If that was 6, 4, ooh, then we'd have the interesting problem of 6, 4 being here. Yeah, that can't happen. That's really interesting. Right. Why can't this pair be 4, 6? Very interesting. Because we've already got 4, 6 down there. We'd need to put the 4, 6 in column 7 into these two cells. And that's a big problem for this box. Because if that's even, these are even. So if that's a 4, 6 pair, this is 2, 8. And then these cells would have to be 1, 3, and 7. And 3 is not allowed to touch 7 on the green line. So that doesn't work. So this can't be a 4, 6 pair. And now we do know that 7 and 8 are both being used up in these cells, which was what I was getting to earlier. Because this uses 7 or 8, and this pair must use the other one. And now this can't be a 7 and must be 5. And that gives us 7 here. This can't be 8 as well for the same reason, but that's not quite as powerful. Although now we've got a 2, 3, 7, 8 quad. Everything else in the column is 4, 6, and 9. Now if I can come up with some rationale for saying this isn't 4, 6, I can. It's exactly the same rationale. That's beautiful. This can't be a 4, 6 pair because, again, this group of cells would be all of the even digits, 2, 4, 6, 8. And this would have to be 1, 3, 7, which it can't be. So 9 has to be in one of those cells and not here. Now, I don't know. I find that lovely, but I don't know if it really does anything. It just reduces this one to 4 or 6. Could this be 7? Well, where is 7? 7 could be there still. Yeah, I don't know. The combination of this line and this line and this line is still pregnant with possibilities, unfortunately. Right, if this is high, if this is high, 6 won't do because it couldn't touch 2 or 3, and it sees 7 and 9. If it's high, it's got to be 8, which feels very powerful and maybe even impossible. 8 would force this to be a 7-3 pair. No, I'm not saying it's impossible. It looks possible just after all. If it's low, it's coming after 8 on the line. So it's 1, 2, or 3. But that would be a 2 because it's the same colour and low. So this could never be 2. And now I feel like I'm almost getting a quad or a quintuple here. But I'm not. Oh, this is a fascinating puzzle. Very interesting. Very hard to quite get your grip on. Okay, this was either going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, in which case that's a 2, 3 pair. This would be an 8, 7 pair. That would have to be a 4, 6 pair. These would be 1, 5, 9. It's very forcing, but it's not impossible. Wow, I dare say I'm definitely missing something at this point. That was red. I'd love to say that 5 can't be on this line. That would be incredibly helpful. They'd all be the same red colour, and that would be yellow, and I feel we could get something done. But I think there's every chance 5 is on this line, and indeed maybe then a mix of red and yellow. I can't see the resolution of that. If I'm missing something very obvious at this point, or indeed earlier, it'll be frustrating for you, but I can't help that. Right. Oh no, I was about to say this isn't a 4-6 pair. I've already proven that. I came up with another way of proving it now that involved that not being 4 and 6. But foolishly, I did not need that. This grey, if it's the even digits, 8 has to be in one of those, which intriguingly would force the colour of yellow here. But I mean, there's no reason this yet has to be all the even digits. It might turn out that way, but it might not. still, maybe that is the thing to do, is to try and work on this. Because it's quite interesting. If I can prove... No, I was going to say if I could prove this was all odd digits, 5 would be in one of those and there. But that's not necessarily true anyway, because there are 4 odd digits that don't even include 5. Goodness me, this is a tough puzzle. That can't be 4, because this would be 9 on the whisper. So, let's try and think about this grey line, because it was very helpful down on the west coast. 7. 9 and 7 are here. We know 9's in one of those cells. 7 must be in one of these. If this was a 7, these would be forced to be 1, 2, 7. The line and the non-line would in one case be 3, 5, 9, and in the other 4, 6, 8. And that would force 8 to be in one of these cells, seeing 4 and 6, and forcing that to be 2. And this would become 3, which plays fine with a 7 there. In fact, I've only just noticed these two add up to 10, because they're the counterparts of these two, which also add up to 10. Oh, well, okay, I've found something interesting then. If that was 7, oh, no, I haven't. I found the opposite of something interesting. If that was 7, this would not be able to be 8. If that was 8, this would have to be 8, because that would be 2. Right, let's think again about the possibilities here. If this is 3, 7, that has to be an 8. But if it's 2, 8, it uses 8, so this can never be 8. So if this is 9, 7, the 6, 8 here is only one way around. I think I knew that, and I just hadn't even registered it in the grid. Bother. If that's 1, 4, this is a 2, 3 pair. That's a 2, 3 pair. These two are the same. I don't know what to do with that information. Wow, okay, we still need a big breakthrough. One more big breakthrough. Where are we going to get it? It's probably this grey line. It's mocking me a bit. I thought I was going to be able to rule out 7, 1, 2. Oh, there are other ramifications if that's 7, 1, 2. If this is 7, this has to be 8 and 3 then. I haven't thought about that at all. 9, 3, 8. The high digit on these would have to be 6 or 7. Maybe the interesting case is the alternative, where this isn't high, where this was low, because I thought it can't be 4 then, because that can't be 9. So if this is low, this red cell, it's 1, 2, or 3, and that might have some impact on this. Because we couldn't go above 6 on this if that was 1, 2, or 3. And we'd have to have both 2 and 3 on it. This couldn't be 2 by Sudoku, so that almost would force this to be 2, but actually not quite. Yeah, it could well be something to do with this line. And it's intriguing that it's possible that this being low is more of a constraint on this line than it being forced to be 6 or 7 and high. No, I don't know. I can't get there with that, so I've got to find something else. Right, 6 and 4 aren't there, so they're definitely in these cells. But only one of them is in these two. So either that is a 4 or 6, or this is, in which case we have this issue of 3 even digits here. Let's just think about that issue for now. If there are 3 even digits on this line, then we're only allowed 1 even on this line. It could be 8. In fact, yeah, this digit couldn't be 7 if we're only allowed 1 even on this line. Because 7 there would take 1 and 2 with it, which includes 2 odds. Hang on. If that's 7, oh yeah, okay, the point is if that's 7, 2 is on this green line bit segment, and this would have to be 4, 6, 8. So either this is, no, what am I saying? If this is 7, that's 7, 1, 2, then this is either 4, 6, 8 or 3, 5, 9. I don't know where I'm getting to now. I'm really confusing myself quite badly. I think I already know that 8 is definitely in one of these 3 cells. I wish I knew that that helped anything. I don't think it does. I think it does also prove that 8 is in one of those 2 cells. But I don't think that proves much either. And I'm sort of getting stuck again. Oh dear, we're about twice as far into the video as my last interesting breakthrough. That's embarrassing. Okay, for that to be a 4, this would have to be 9. Is anything occurring then? Or, for this all to be even, 8's in one of those cells and yellow is low. So red is high and would be 6 or 7. But these would all be even. They'd be 2, 4, 6, 8. So if red was 6, that would be 2 and 4. But that's a nested if now. That's too difficult to really work with. Oh, this digit can't be a 3. I mean, this is a very boring conclusion, but it's touching a 7 on one side. That is not very interesting, but it is true. One of these has to be, we're nearly, again, getting a 1, 2, 3, 6, 8 quad. That didn't narrow down finding 4 or 5, I don't think. Which is a relief, because that's been very obvious for a long time. Okay, let's imagine that was a 9-7 pair, and this is 6-8. Then I think six, 8, 4, 2. It doesn't force the hand of this digit at all. Oh, maybe it does. If this is a 3, both of these are 8. That's an interesting point. Yes, and then you couldn't put 8 in either of these. That's really clever. This can't be 3. I mean, again, it may not do anything, but it's true. If that was 3, both of these yellows would be 8, and neither of these oranges could be 8, but one of them has to be. So, if that was 1, this would be 8, and then 7 there, 8 there, this wouldn't be able to be 8. So now I do know that one of these 2 digits, the high one, it's either here and it's 6 or 7 because it can't be 8, or it's here and it's 6 or 7 because that C's 8. So the high digit in these cells is 6 or 7, and the low one is therefore 1 or 2. And that's quite complicated to see. It's very interesting. If this was a 6, those would both be 1. The 1 in the top row would have to go there. That's not impossible. I'm trying to see that one of these being a 6 maybe forces the 7 into that cell, but I can't quite prove that. It's intriguing that these have come down so low. Okay, maybe let's look at this line. If that was 1 or 2, that does have quite an effect on this line. This line then can't get up above a 5 on it at all. That would be 3 or 4. This would definitely be 9. This would be low. Oh, let's just have a very quick think about this being 9, because that's a stretch now. This would have to be 7, that would be 6, and we'd have 8 here. And 1 here. 6, 8, 1, 7, 2. It's possible. Infuriatingly, it's possible. No, it's not. It's not possible for a weird reason. Right. If that was 9, 7 there, 6 here, 8 here, that's 6, which puts 8 there, also puts 1 there, and that cell becomes impossible. So this can't be 9. I mean, I'm straining to reduce possibilities here. This is now 2 or 5. If it was a 2, you can't get 6 on the line. This would have to be a 1. And that would be 3 or 4. If this was a 2, red would be high. If this was a 2, this red cell would be high. Red would always be high in the puzzle. And that would have to be at least a 6. And it cannot be if that's a 2. That is not enough cells on the line. So this is a 5. And again, that's not going to prove anything. But it does take 5 out of a bunch of cells here. Actually, I should have known 5 wasn't in any of those, but never mind, that's not important. 5 is now on this line. This can't be 1 anymore. It can't be reached by a Renban with 5 on. So, if red is low, this is a 2, and these are 3 and 4 in that case. Now, can you see anything wrong with that possibility? Red being low puts 1 and 2 here. 8 and 6 here, 7 and 9 down here. That becomes a 4, which would sort out the 3 and the 4 that I was talking about. But not into a way that seems impossible. Okay, I'm going to do something slightly different. If this was 7, that's also high and is 8. In fact, I can colour these two yellow, can't I? Because this line is either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 6, 7, 8, 9. That's weird. Why didn't I know I could colour those yellow? And this must be red. I mean, that's all true. That's red because it's obviously the different version of 1, 9. I mean, this might be worth doing extraordinarily. These are both yellow, so they couldn't both be 7. This digit can never be 7 because that would be the same colour and would also be 7. So if this is high, it's 6, and it can't be because that's not 1 anymore. There we go. Yes. So yellow has become low, definitely. And red is high. Wow. And now we can start filling in some digits because these are low. This is 1, 4. Well, I don't know about... Ooh, that wasn't what I was trying to do. Don't know about 2, 3 there. But 8, that is high. That is high. Now we know about the 3 and the 2. This is low. That's high. I don't know what it is. This is definitely high. This is high. Box 8 is complete. This can't be 2. This can't be 3. And box 9 is complete. And now we're in business. This is 8. That's 7. 7 is surrounded by 1 and 2 on the green line. So I've got a pair up here. This has become 6. And that needs 1 on its green line. 2 there, 1 there. 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light losing its religion. We've got 4, 5 and 6 to go here. This line is going to be useful in a moment, but there's probably more Sudoku to do first. And I do get comments telling me, clean up the Sudoku. 3, 4, 7 and 9. Now, those two are the same parity, and they can't both be even because they'd both be 4. So this line is all odd. And they are from 3, 7, 9. That's good. This one is now an odd digit that is not 7, 1 or 9. Oh, hang on. I just coloured those orange for odd, whilst forgetting that we're not using orange for odd in this puzzle. We're using orange for high. So we go back to being sensible. That's 1 or 5. I'm now using pink for odd. Now, this line, I haven't looked at this for ages. 6 and 5 are definitely on the Renban. This digit by Sudoku, well, it's not allowed to be 5 by Renban. Oh, I can't actually rule out 8. That's really annoying. So I think, no, not necessarily. I was going to say this is either a 3, 4 or an 8, 7 pair. Even that's not necessarily true because it could be 4 and 7. So this line is very unhelpful. Well, fair enough. Oh, that too is looking at this cell. So that's 9. And this is low, and now this can't be 8, so there we go. We did get to a 3, 4 pair. They're both looking at these cells, but neither of them are threatening to be 3, 4. That's a 4, 5, 6, 9 quad. So this is 2 and 7. This is 1, 5, 9. This is not a 5. In this row, 3 is looking at that cell. There's some of the Sudoku I wasn't tidying up. And at this cell, oh, that 3 was incredibly helpful. I'll pretend I only just got it. That's a 2. That's a 6. This is not allowed to be 3 or 4 now. So this is a 3, 7, 9 triple. That's 4. That's 3, which works for the Renban. That sorts out 7, 3. That sorts out 7, 2. Now we know about this line, which only contains 4, 6. And that lets us fill in 9, 5. This is 8 and 1, 2 and 9. This is now 6 and 4 all resolved. They were resolved before, but I didn't see how. That's not allowed to be 1 or 5. So it's 9, that's 7. This is 8 to complete the row. We've had all the odds in this box, so we've got all the evens to go. I can place 2. And 6, and then I can sort out 8 and 4. And this must be 5, and that must be 8. And we've just got a few rows and columns to tidy up. 2, 9, 4, 1, 8. Oh, that 4 looks down here, sorts out the 5s. That's 3 and 7. Let's get rid of all the colouring. It's done a fabulous job for me. 1 and 6 here, they are resolved. 1 and 5 over this side, and a 9, 3 in the middle. That's a really clever puzzle. I like that, Simply Spicy. Super effort and great fun. Thank you for sending it, and thank you for following us on the channel. Absolute pleasure to have you with us, and do come back for more tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye for now.